On this week's episode, we're going to talk about how and why I spend a quarter of my life retired. Welcome back to this week's episode. I am Chad Owen, owner of Retirement Realized Financial, and yes, we are here to make you better. And obviously, if you don't have your contracts with us and you've been with us for a while or been listening for a while, you know you can also do our academy as well. If you're interested in any of those, give Caleb a call at
512-798-3500, extension 5.
Can you say that again, please, Caleb?
512-798-3500, extension 5.
Perfect. And don't call me at all because I won't answer. I'll be at appointments.
I don't know your number off the top of my head to give it to him.
Oh, you know my number. You pick it all the time and it drives me nuts. So let's be real here, okay?
There's a difference between having Chad's number and knowing Chad's number.
Yeah, lucky Caleb's still alive, but you know what? I love him. So
call it luck, whatever.
No, love,
you
definitely.
Okay.
It's love. And luck, you wouldn't be alive. Yeah. Your rabbit's foot would be gone. So, yeah, speaking of which, how is a rabbit's foot lucky? Because it's not lucky for the rabbit.
It is not. No, that's a good question.
Yeah. Do you want to tell your chicken joke? No, don't do it. Anyway.
You want to tell yours? Oh, wait.
So,
no.
no.
Never mind. All right. How and why you spend a quarter of your life retired. Now, you're going to answer it already?
Yeah, I am.
Go for it.
Because, you know, people ask that a lot. And the number one thing people tell me is, I just passed 29 million, you said, for the year. Mm-hmm. And I think I've taken off, 8 or 9 weeks, I think?
At least.
At least
because you had all of August.
Yeah, I did. Oh, that was so nice.
Yeah. You took a goose egg for production in August.
Oh, but I have more. I scored way more points with my wife than I ever did any sort of production.
Well, that's
way
great.
more important there.
Yeah.
Memories, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except I did outspend her by far on souvenirs.
That's impressive.
Alaska's not her place to buy, nice clothing.
Yeah, but take her to Germany.
Oh, Germany. They're all her height.
Yeah.
Germany, Sweden, Norway. Like when we went to Sweden, oh my gosh, everything fit her perfectly. And I'm like, yeah, this is getting expensive.
Yeah.
But it was actually pretty affordable.
There you go.
Yeah. So, hey, win-win, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't enjoy what you're doing,
right,
then why go?
Right.
And when I say it's not about the amount of money you're spending, when we did 2 weeks out of the 4 weeks we were gone in an RV, just traveling. Now with gas prices, that was pretty expensive.
Right.
But when we went to stay at RV parks, it wasn't RV parks. It was like state parks.
Right.
And no, they didn't have all the amenities, but man, it was just in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Perfect, next to streams and waterfalls. It was incredible. But they say, to me, it's not the cost of the vacation that gets me. It's the cost of not doing business.
Yeah.
And so if I'm writing $1 million per week in annuities, you know what that vacation's costed me when I was gone for a month.
Right.
But what good is it to sit there and get all this cash and you have no memories to go along with it? And the other thing I've really learned from my clients is don't wait till you're too old. That is, and there's a balance because there's also a younger generation saying, well, I want to get all my travel out and then have kids. Mm-hmm. But we actually had our kids early and then we traveled with them and there were so many incredible memories there.
Sure.
But you also don't want to wait till you get older and you can't enjoy it. So I would say start from wherever you're at and enjoy it. Now, if you don't have the money to do that, I mean, you can do all sorts of things that don't cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
One of the best trips I just recently took, I think it was in March or May, I think it was March, the trip where me and God.
Yeah. Drove out Texas into New Mexico and Arizona.
Yeah. And I just had a tent in the back of my truck and I just stopped wherever, popped it up.
There you go.
And I mean, it cost me nothing.
Sure. Just diesel fuel.
Yeah. Well, once again, pretty expensive, but it isn't about the loss of time in writing appointments. It would be the loss of time in not enjoying memories.
Right.
And I'll take memories over money all day long.
Yeah.
And then you say, well, why don't you spend your entire life doing that? Because I could absolutely right now, I could retire and Leilani and I could literally travel the rest of our life.
Yeah.
But the reason why I won't is because it's not about that too. It's also about helping mentor others, further generations, leaving a legacy, living a legacy. In other words, all the visions and dreams I have right now will take way more than me to get it accomplished. So it's future generations to do that. So the balance is, how much time do I take off?
Right.
And
so you still have work to do.
I still have work to do. And, you know, it really comes down to, when do I feel like I'm going to collapse on the floor and die?
Yeah.
That's when it's time to take a vacation.
Yeah.
How often does that happen? I'm feeling it right now. So, I mean, sometimes even after that month of taking off, because I got sick while I was on the vacation, didn't stop us from doing anything. Still did it anyway. But after the first week, I'm going, man, I am very tired.
Yeah.
And so it's time for a vacation again.
There you go.
Or an ER trip, one of the two. So, but yeah,
one's a lot more enjoyable.
So the number one thing, and I know you have some things to bring up, but the number one thing is, never sit there and hoard what you're gaining or getting from off of your commissions. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Give it away. Some of the greatest things we ever do. We just had someone just recently. We just thank God for Venmo. We just sent them some money, and it's like they get impacted so much by that.
Right.
And, you know, it's not, once again, it's not even about the dollar amount. It's where your heart is.
Yeah.
So my heart is to be well rested when I can, but work my tail off when I'm focused. As you know, I don't take a vacation before a vacation.
It's true.
I don't take a vacation after vacation. And often, Leilani, my wife, she is just taking care of all the packing and everything. Why? Because a lot of times I am working up until the last minute before we go.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I wrote this down. I said that there's an element of income surplus helping to provide time off, and then there's the element of time off catalyzing income surplus, right? So it's like, if you want to take out the memories, take out the fact that you're a family man and you want to spend time with family, like, you want to look at it for the pragmatic type listening that wants to look at it strictly from a business perspective, and, I can't take time because then I'm not getting these things accomplished. It's like, well, you're averaging $1 million in production a week, okay?
Of working weeks.
Right, working weeks.
I haven't figured out yet how to do it when I'm gone. So
yeah, true. We'll get there.
No, we won't. You will.
Not for
I
you.
will not.
I'm saying
No.
I think
we'll get our team working it up.
Exactly.
But, you know, I have no interest. There's some people that will. Now, I check my emails every day. I have Signal. You know, I'll go through those. But that is almost always a very, very quick. I'm checking them. I'm answering. If I have voicemails, I answer those back.
Looking for fires, basically, is all.
Well, I mean, not even fires, just making sure they don't turn into a fire.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, so if I get it taken care of really quick, then I'll never have fires.
Yeah. Well, I do think that there's an element of you writing $1 million a week. If you were to just work every single week all year long, your current average does not equate to necessarily $52 million over the course of the year. Right? Because there's a drop off because of the fatigue and the draining that the pushing. We saw it in 2020.
Yes.
You know, when you couldn't take the time
a long
off because
time
of COVID.
without a vacation, and
it was a gradual, slow tape. You started the year really great, and then it gradually, slowly tapered. So there's an element to recharging and refueling. Yeah.
And that was physically, I felt the same way too.
Right. So it's not a deal where, I mean, we look at it from a numbers perspective and think, okay, Chad's writing $3 to $4 million a month on average this year, which is crazy, really good, monthly average. You take off the month of August to help maintain that average. The assumption would be, well, you missed out on $3 or $4 million in production. It's like, well, did you really? If you work that month, what happens in November when you've not taken the time to rest and recover?
So here's a balancing statement. I have 4 companies that are very active right now.
Right.
And then I have 2 that don't really take a lot of time. They're just venture capital, real estate. I have a nonprofit that's not fully working right now. We're looking for a director. So, I mean, let's say I have 4 companies that are really working hard right now. So it does take my time, energy, and effort. Sure. Plus, my brain just doesn't shut down, and I'm always working on other deals. But if I just did annuity sales,
right,
I could probably work 35 to 40 hours a week. And
still be writing every bit of what you're writing or more.
Exactly. And I wouldn't need as much rest because I'm only working 35 to 45 hours a week.
Sure.
And, I'm very deliberate in my drive time too. Most of you guys know, but I do audiobooks, the Bible, worship music, anything that can feed my soul and my mind while I'm driving and being very efficient with it.
Right.
That also gives me a lot of peace too. I mean, there's sometimes I will just turn off everything and I'm just listening to nothing other than just talking with God. And I know that may sound weird to people, but that's my rest time. That's when I recharge.
Yeah.
That's when, my relationship with him is kind of like he's my father. And so I want to hear what he has to say. And sometimes he's just like, good job.
Yeah.
And other times he's like, you need to get better at this. And other times, I told you no.
Right.
So,
True.
like true father would,
True.
right? But, you got to be very deliberate with your drive time too.
Right.
It's not just about vacations. It's being deliberate with your time. And, I know some people, they just listen to mindless stuff and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But, especially like country music, what are you thinking,
Yeah, golly, I
or,
just can't believe those
80s or 90s music. I mean, come on. That's just like brain damage right there. You hear cells, your brain cells just imploding. Oh, man. 70s is even worse. It's instant coma and death. I can't stand 70s music. And jazz, that's even worse.
I love jazz.
I know.
I love
I'm just
Kenny
making
G's,
I'm making
saxophone. Oh yeah.
That's actually explains a lot.
Yeah.
So
It should.
yeah. Okay.
The tough one is, so for you determine when you're going to break based on just your physicality. Like your body tells you when you need to take time for the most part.
For
right?
the most part.
Thing is, there's not necessarily though an opportune time. Like it's never an ideal time.
No, because I used to think there were down times in our business.
Sure.
And it's really not. It was all based on my mindset. So I had to set my mind that summertime was going to be slower. Mm-hmm. So in my mind, I was thinking sometime slower. Therefore, I didn't do as much business because I didn't put as much effort because I'm like going, it's going to be a coast. Yeah. And, through the last few summers, I'm going, man, I've had some this last summer. I mean, I had $1 million weeks almost every single week.
Yeah.
During the summer.
Yeah.
And, obviously not in August, but June, July, it was
good.
so consistent.
Yeah.
And so the mindset is, and here's another thing people say, well, the market's tanking right now.
Right.
Why would you take off?
Yeah.
Well, in our industry, when the market's going up, you're capturing those gains. You're giving peace of mind. When the market's going down, you're capturing those protection or trying to protect it so they have a peace of mind as well.
Right.
So you're right. There's no such thing as a perfect time to take off other than, and I also watch my wife as well. If I see my wife missing me, which is a good thing, if she's like, I haven't seen you that much. And, because I'm usually home by 9 to 10 o'clock, even on Monday through Thursday. But we always have a date day too. So I'm not waiting till that vacation. We usually will take the entire day of Saturday and we just go on a date day.
Right.
But we're very deliberate in that time. But if there's a time where she's saying, I miss you, and the jerk thing would be, well, what do you miss me? I'm earning an income for the family. Shut up.
Right.
She misses you. That's a good thing. Or
respond like that and she won't be missing you for
long.
long.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an honor that she actually wants to be around me.
Right.
And so make yourself a person that other people want to be around.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
It's true. I think it can be so easy, like you say, for agent, because you don't have a set 40-hour week.
No.
You've got a whatever it takes to get the job done kind of week. And that goes for anybody and everybody that's out there selling annuities.
Yeah, but there's a side to that too. I hear people, they maybe have 1 or 2 appointments. I'm like, what are you doing? Well, I'm this and that. I'm like, your job, I still tell people this all the time. If you don't have a job, your job is getting a job.
Right.
So if you want a 40-hour week job, then you spend 40 hours a week getting that job. Period.
Yeah.
There's no excuse
for it. Put into it what you're planning to be spending on.
I mean, and I know a lot of things go by e-applications right now as far as when you're applying for a job. But if I go in once a week in a place I really want to work, that person's going to look at me and go, this person has drive more than anybody else. That's who I want. And so
things you can do there, yeah.
So when you're not having appointments for annuities and you have some leads, then make your calls.
Yeah, work.
I mean, me, I make calls Monday from, now it's 3:30 to 7:30 because I have more leads. except for today. So I still have a ton of leads, but other things happen where I probably won't be able to start till 4:30 today.
Right.
But what am I doing? I'm preparing for the week. I'm
Sure.
doing my illustrations. I'm checking on pending business. I'm finding out why I have 18 applications pending right now, and I don't have enough movement on that side of it. You know, so,
Yep.
and granted, things are real busy right now, but I'm going to be proactive in everything I'm doing. So by being proactive in everything I'm doing, I can also be proactive in taking the time off that I want.
That's so good. And I want to give one quick note that doesn't inherently pertain to taking time off, but I think it's an important business note. Take an audit of what goes right as much or more than you take audits of what goes wrong. I think what happens a lot of times is people will be doing their stuff, and then something will go awry, something will not be right, and then they try to figure out why did that go right, rather than proactively and preemptively taking audits of what does go right so that you can continue to do those things rather than just react to the thing that goes wrong. So,
you know, it's interesting you say that because I just went to a conference this weekend at our church, and the speaker said, if you spend so much time worrying about what the devil's doing or what God is not doing, you'll never focus on what God is doing. And I'm thinking about that. If you focus on so much what is bad or what's not going right, you don't take time to see what actually is going right in your life. And think about that. If you spend, a lot of people spend so much time, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, and this isn't going right for me. And this is, if you would focus more time on what's going right in your life, I woke up, I'm breathing, I have a car, I have a job, I have a way of making money, you know, whatever it is, and you just focus on that. It's going to be way better. That's why I hate these people that just sit and watch news all day. I situational study. You know, I obviously know what's going on with economics and current events and global situations, but I'm not going to sit there and dwell on it and let it play in my house, which plays in my head, which creates a different atmosphere inside of the house. And then I wonder why someone walks into my, office or whatever, and I got some stupid news station on, and they walk in, hey, how you doing? Shut up.
Yeah.
It's like,
You're just
I
grouchy.
just said hi. Well, I'm putting all this poison in my head.
Yeah.
I'm not all about butterflies and unicorns either. I mean, life is
realism,
real. Life
right?
does happen.
Yeah.
But you know what? You just have to be a different set. When you wake up every day, the first thing I'm thinking about is, what do I get to do today for others? How do I get to impact other people's life? That takes a focus off of me instead of going, I don't want to get up. I feel tired. I didn't sleep good. You know?
Yeah.
It's just that's how I get the energy and the drive from that.
That's good.
Yep.
That's really good. So yeah. And I would say too, you can use your time off, use your vacation time to take an audit of what goes right.
Yep.
If you're vacationing and you're trying to figure out everything that's wrong, number one, you're probably
not
getting
going
the
on a
most
vacation. You're
out
not
of that time.
Yeah, you will not have a good vacation if you're doing that.
But to highlight and reflect on what is going right, I think is probably something that can be both energizing and still productive.
So my priority when I'm on vacation is number one. My number one focal point is, who am I with?
Yeah.
So if I'm with my wife, then that's the focal point. If I'm with my family, that's my focal point. If I'm with friends, that's my focal point.
Sure.
And so it's not I'm not doing this right, I'm not doing that right, but it's also about dreaming.
Yeah.
And reflection and what's next and where are we going to be going? Because when I shut my brain down, it's funny. We were in that RV for 2 weeks, and the second to last day, we pull into the state park, and there's a beautiful waterfall with a glacier above it. There's a stream right in front of me. I mean, the clouds are coming over the mountain, just kind of like the real kind of cool looking where they're sneaking over the mountain. And I just went to this moment of thank God for what I get to do. Thank God for my wife. You know, I just went this moment of gratitude and thankfulness, and I went to this crazy, and I've never taken a drug, okay? But if there's like a relaxing type of drug, whatever that'd be.
There's plenty of them.
If I OD'd on something like that, I'd be like, cool, man, you know, this is really awesome. You know, I kind of have that feeling, but I went in this complete zone, and Leilani's watching me, and I'm just kind of like in a daze. She goes, why did it take you the second to last day to where you full on able to relax? And I said, well, because our checklist was done. Yeah. I saw everything I wanted to see. So, but,
that's funny.
Yep, this is it, guys. I hope that helps you remember. Take some time to relax, enjoy what you get to do, and enjoy the people around you. Hope this helps you. You have a great day, and of course, happy selling.